Good morning, Stephen and Tara. My name is Pat. I'm with Epic Homes. Today is Wednesday, June 2nd, and we're going to do a virtual pre-drywall walk today. Even though I've kept the house moving, generally we would walk and look at everything before insulation, but I insulated yesterday, but I don't think we'll have an issue with that. But we're going to move forward. So today we're going to look at your house inside and out. We're going to go over the options you've selected and point out everything. So we're ready to start here. So you can see I've got this little checklist that I'm going to be going through, and that's grading and drainage, gutters, downspouts, elevations, plumbing, electrical, mechanical, everything. And the first thing I'd like to start with is the outside. What I have here with me is a copy of your plot plan, which I believe you have a copy of this, but if you do not, just reach out to Kyle and he'll send one over to you. But this shows me how your house sits on the lot. There's a little legend or key down here which tells you what all of the symbols and numbers mean. I've highlighted a couple items just to bring to your attention. For example, your lot perimeter. These dark lines are your property lines. For example, the rear property line is 78.92 feet. The front, you'd add the 59 and the 44, whatever that dimension is, 123, 125, something like that. Sideline 125, 123. This little stop sign symbol tells me how many steps in and out of your house there are. It also shows us percentage of grade or slope that we're going to have when we finish grading your lot. There's 17 steps from the deck down to grade out back. We're going to walk around the outside and we're going to look at things, but you have selected our 2361 model. This is the Colorado Foothills elevation, and with the Colorado Foothills elevation, the window grids are two vertical grids, which you can see in the windows. That's on the front elevation. Other homes, other elevations have different grids or no grids, but yours has the two vertical grids. We're working on masonry on the outside. All the siding is done, and I'm in the inspection process inside. We're going to be wrapping up those inspections today and tomorrow, and then we'll be stocking drywall this Friday. That'll be drywall stock Friday, June 4th. And then moving from there. Now, I have a partner that I work with up here, and his name is Sean, and he'll be managing all of the finished trades after drywall and your back-end schedule or your completion schedule. He'll also be doing your NHO or new homeowner orientation as we get a couple weeks away from closing. Right now, I just want to tell you we're trending on schedule, barring any major setbacks, and we have been having some supply chain issues with cabinetry, with tile, light fixtures, hardware, door hardware, bath hardware. We've been having some appliances, big time issues with appliances. We are out in front of them and we're doing everything we can to minimize the impact, but we've got impact. And right now we're trending, barring any major setbacks on supply chain issues, where your house is trending for probably the first half of October completion. And Sean will be determining that schedule here in a couple weeks. Once we get all of the drywall in place and get textured, he'll be developing and fine-tuning that back-end schedule. So we're going to start walking around the outside. Now I have with me a list of your options that you've selected. I'll refer to those as I'm able. I've got to shuffle some papers here as we go. I'm going to get ready with your electrical drawings right now as we walk around the outside, and your low volt. So please bear with me as we move and I shuffle some paper around. I have been involved in your house since day one, and I'm going to tell you something once we get inside and down in the basement, but we're going to start right here in the front. And as you can see, we've got coach lights pre-wired on both sides of both garages. Exterior, we've got the board and batten siding appearance on the Colorado Foothills with stone below. So everything you see that's still in black is masonry, and we're working on that masonry, and you'll see them as we get around back. A little bit muddy today, so we're gonna walk outside first and pause so we can clean our shoes off, and then we'll go inside the house and we'll walk everything inside. So as we start walking here, as I mentioned, we've got coach lights on either side of the garage. You've requested a holiday circuit, which is switched at the front door, and that outlet, which is switched outlet, is right here in the front under the eave. Okay. And then whatever lights or anything you're doing, during the holidays, you can plug those in there and operate them from the switch at the front entry, which I'll point out inside. So as we move around the south side here, we've got the gas meter location. Hose bib is a little bit high, but the reason for that is that's at the top, very top of the foundation. I can't bore through the foundation with the hose bib, but everywhere forward is all concrete. So that's the location for the hose bib. As we move down to the walkout, rec room area. No other penetrations on this side other than up high. That's the kitchen hood vent. We'll move around here to the patio. And on the patio, we have a hot tub pre-wire location coming out of this column. We have a coach light, an outlet. You've also requested from a low volt standpoint on this back patio. You've got a few pre-wires here. I'm pointing those out to you. You've got a CP location, DP, which I have this legend here, is a wall speaker pre-wire coming out through the stone on both sides. We also have a CP with a power outlet. This is a CP is phone and data, cable satellite. So you got data, phone, and cable location here. Again, coach light, speaker. Oh, pardon me. Yep. Speaker. And then we'll step down off the patio, move around behind the stairs. As you can see, we're working on the masonry here. I'll point out the things on the upper deck as we get up there. No other penetrations coming out the rear of the house. And as we get over here, I'm going to pan the backyard so you're going to see what this yard looks like. Even though I'm not graded. Got electric and low volt pedestals in the rear corner. And you can see the deck stairs, the stairs coming off the deck. There'll be a concrete pad at the base of the stairs, and then everything will grade off of there. Everything sheet grades all to the back. This is a big hole here that'll all fill in and grade out. As we move around the side here, you see a white pipe penetrating. That is the sump pump in the low part of the basement, and that will elbow down and terminate out to grade. This is the main electrical distribution panel, and we have in there just the main disconnect, because you've selected the interior load center, and we'll look at that as we get into the house. There's the main disconnect in here. Now, they may also put the air conditioning breaker in this outside panel as well, because that mounts on this side of the house. So we'll take a look at that as we go. This is the low volt pre-wires coming out of your house, your main feeders. This is the low volt coming in from the pedestals in the rear. So there'll be a demarc or a small panel placed here by CenturyLink, Comcast, whoever your service provider is, and that'll terminate right here. And you can kind of see over on the adjoining house what the finished product will look like, with the air conditioning, with the termination panels, and the low volt. They haven't set their box yet, but they normally do. So we've got masonry coming up this side of the house. The other penetrations coming out here are bath fans. So these are little vent covers from bath fans in the basement. And as we move up, we've got pipe and wires coming out of the house. This is where the air conditioning unit will sit. This is the condensate line, or the condensate line for the AC unit. We've got vent and intake for the furnace, and vent and intake for the water heater. This is the high voltage power for the air conditioning unit, and the service outlet here, just a 110 service outlet if anyone needs to service this, or gives you another point of electrical power on this side of the house. Up front, as we move up to behind the single stall garage, this is the sprinkler tee. This copper pipe goes to your irrigation box. There'll be a vacuum breaker, backflow preventer set here, and this will go to the valve box. Now the valve boxes that we set will accommodate rear yard landscaping. There's enough room in that box for a couple extra zones for your rear yard landscaping. This is the other hose bit that we have. I'm going to get back to your electrical drawings for a moment. Okay, that's it here. Now we'll move around the front. Got the window box protruding from the single stall garage. We'll step inside the single stall garage first. And you haven't requested any additional low volt or high voltage in your single stall, but what we do have are service outlets around the garage on all walls, 1, 2, 3 walls with service. And this back one on the back wall of the single stall garage, this is the one that the landscapers generally use for your sprinkler clock. So this is where your irrigation sprinkler clock will mount. You can see we're insulated in here. Up on the ceiling, we have a ceiling light, and we're pre-wired low volt for garage door opener, which we'll be installing for you. There are low volt wires down on either side of the garage door for the sensors. You can see here that we have a switch. This is your garage, interior garage light switch here. We'll move into the 2-stall garage. Now we've got service outlets around the garage here as well. We got 110 outlet, 110 here, 110 here, and then you've requested a 220 volt 50 amp. This is pre-wired for a car charger. This is what we call a U for ground, or just a means of ground for a second means of ground for the electrical systems. This is a ground wire. This will stay exposed, so you'll see this in your garage. Again, we got 2 light switches here. The exterior coach lights outside the garage are on a 3-way switch, meaning you can operate them both from the owner's entry and from the front entry. So it's on a 3-way switch operating from both locations. We've got 1 switch for the 3-way for the coaches, the other is for the interior lights. We've got 2 ceiling lights here in this garage. Outlet for the garage door opener, and low volt again, pre-wire for the sensors on the garage door opener. You've selected a complete interior garage finish, so that's why all these walls are insulated. And we're going to pause for a moment, and then we'll be moving inside. Okay, here we are at the front entry, and right inside the front entry I have 3 switches here. One is the 3-way for the coach lights along with the garage switch. Like I mentioned, that's the garage coach lights. Second is for the recessed cans on the front porch. We've got 3 recessed cans, one above the door to the entrance of the single stall garage, and one in front of the front door and one in the center of the porch. We have power outlet down low, service outlet, and doorbell right under the window. So as you come in the house or out of the house, we've got coach lights, porch lights, and then we have a 3-way switch for what I call the travelers or the interior cams. We wire all of our houses very logically. That is, when you enter a space, there's a switch to turn the light on. When you exit the space, there's a place to turn the switch off behind yourself and from either side. So as we're in the front entry, there's also another single switch, and I separated it. And the reason I separate this is for your holiday circuit, which is out in that garage eave, as I mentioned, outside. And I don't like to put those together here. I could have done a 4-gang, but I separate that so you're not hunting for a switch and you're turning on and off the holiday circuit. So it's a separate switch for the holiday circuit, and then we've got your lighting circuits together. So here we are at the entrance to the study. Got a single door coming, or barn door into the study. We got two switches inside the study. One is for two recessed cans. In every room, we also do what's called a half hot or a half switched outlet. And at trim stage, you'll know what that is because it'll look upside down. So across the room, we have a half switched outlet. One is continual hot, the other is on the switch as so you could plug a lamp in there and you'd have lighting in the room. So we have two recessed cans, smoke detector, half switched outlet in the study. We also have an outlet at 72, plus on the low volt side, that's 72 inches off the floor, plus we have a CP port, which is phone and data, satellite. We also have, we should have in this study, two speaker pre-wires, and they're here, and one here, per your drawing. Okay, so we're going to move, and before we go into the main living area, we're going to cover the master B. So as we walk down the hall here, as I had mentioned, as we move into the master B area, there are two switches on your left. One is to turn off the lights behind yourself if you have these hallway lights on. The other is to turn on lights ahead of yourself. This is the thermostat location for the furnace and air conditioning. And we have laundry room off to the right. Back in the back, we have closet storage here. We've got a switch to turn the lights off behind yourself as you enter the master suite B. There are two switches inside. You've requested two ceiling cans up in the coffered ceiling. And we have a half switched outlet across the room again. Also a request of yours was power at 72 plus another CP location. I believe it's a CP and the master it is. Another CP location, phone and data, or data and cable, sorry. Service outlets all around the room. No additional power outlets other than the one at 72 inches. We've got a walk-in closet, door swings in, light switch inside the closet for the recessed can. This will have rod and shelf in the closet. Into the master B bathroom. As you walk in, there are two switches. One is for the light over the vanity and the light over the poured shower pan which you selected, and the other is for the fan. So we've got poured shower pan. Shower head here, I set all the shower heads at 84 inches so that you can see I'm 6'1", plenty of headroom. So we got poured shower pan, stool, and vanity. Power outlet next to the vanity. And we'll walk out of the master B, check out the laundry room as we go. So as you walk in the laundry room, you can enter from either the master side or the hallway. There are two switches in here, and the lights are on a three-way switch from the master side to the hallway side. We come in, we've got recessed can, fan, washer, rough-in, dryer, 220 volt for a dryer. This is the dryer vent going up, venting out and through the roof. Here we've got laundry sink location, cabinets, all outlets are above countertop height. And again, two switches, those are the three ways from the hallway. Also here in the laundry room is our standard location for our attic access, and we're going to pan around and come around the other side, and you'll see as we look up into the attic access that we have a pull chain light fixture. We also have a service outlet up there. So if you need power to do any service, or any service people need to do anything in the attic, there's power available for them up there. We're going to sneak through the master closet area, and we've got a three-way switch here for the master closet. We've got recessed cans in the closet and service outlet down below the switch. into the master bathroom. As you walk through the closet, off to your right is the master stool room. There are two switches inside. One is for the light over the stool, and the other is for a fan. Then we're into the master bathroom, and you've selected the 4-piece option, which is shower with benches on each side. Inside on the column is the diverter valve for the shower head, again set at 84. We've also requested one rain head centered in the shower, and there are 2 recessed cans centered on each window. So in the master bath also, above this vanity, we've got power at 66, and you requested a low volt tube coming from the panel up to this location. There's a pull string inside of that tube, so you can pull either way, a wire either way through that conduit. And that is at 67 inches. This is the light above the vanity. We've got a double vanity. Vanity on this side for the light above vanity, and this wick coming, we call it a wick coming out of the wall. You've selected the tower linen storage here, and we have an outlet which will come into the back of this linen cabinet and mount on the side. So next to this sink, there'll be an outlet mounted inside of that cabinet. Switches, we've got switches for recessed cans in the shower. We've got switch for recessed cans in the general area. And there's a switch for fan, and then switch for the vanity lights. So we've got cans, vanity, and fan. We stack these switches because your countertop comes all the way to here, and we don't want to encroach into the mirror space. So we've got stacked switches. Again, your common lights, your travelers or your recessed cans are at the lower height, and then the options are higher. So as you're walking through the room, you're not fumbling for a light. The standard height turns on the recessed cans, and then we have fan and optional and shower lights up high. Moving into the master bedroom, closet in the hallway. Door swings in. We've got service outlets around the room. In the master bedroom, you requested 2 ceiling cans up in the coffer. We also have ceiling fan, pre-wire standard in the center. We've got smoke detector up high. Also in this coffer, you've requested 2 speaker pre-wires, and they'll be on the outside of each can. Low volt 2 speaker pre-wires. Also, you requested on the adjoining wall to the grand room, power and low volt at 72 inches off the floor, centered on the wall. Service outlets all around the room. We have a 3-way switch to turn off lights behind yourself. That's this switch. 3 switches inside. One is for the recessed cans, one is for the ceiling fan pre-wire, and the other is for the switched outlet across the room. And that's on the other side of the bed wall. And the ceiling fan, there is double wires in there, so it is pre-wired for light and fan. And we have a double switch here. So there'll be one switch for the light and one for the fan. Pretty much wraps up the master suite area. We'll move around to the grand room. And also another thing in this master, you requested barn door pre-frame, and that is all in here. This is all the back for the barn door pre-frame. That's where a track would mount and the door would slide toward the bedroom. So switch to turn on lights ahead of yourself, and the 3-way in the bedroom for behind. Again, same thing as you're entering. 3-way switch. We're going to move back to the front entry and make our way to the grand room, so I can point a couple things out here. Okay, so we're in the front, we're in the entry or foyer area, and we're moving toward the main living space. We've got coat closet here off to the left. We've got two switches here. One is, you can see an S3 and an S4. Three-way switch for the lights behind yourself, and then a three-way switch for the traveling cans in this general area. Another switch over on that side to turn those lights off. This operates the grand room, and what we have in the grand room are 4 recessed cans. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have ceiling fan pre-wire in the center. From a low volt standpoint in the grand room, we've got 4 speakers in the ceiling, and those are adjacent to the recessed cans. 4 speaker pre-wires. We have CP location and power at 80 inches, a little bit higher in this room, 80 inches above the fire, centered on the fireplace. We have niches alongside the fireplace on both sides. On the left side, you'll see a power outlet down low. There also is gas shutoff for the fireplace. This is the emergency gas shutoff for the fireplace. That'll come through the wall. There'll be a trim plate on there with a key for it. The fireplace switch itself is in the other side, in the right side, on the side wall. This is how you operate the fireplace on-off switch here. So in the grand room, we got 4 recessed cans, ceiling fan, light pre-wire, 4 speaker pre-wires. We've got CP port above the fireplace along with power at 80-inch. Service outlets all around the room. There also is a half-switched outlet opposite the switch bank, which is over here. So we've got cans. We've got dining fixture. We have located the dining fixture, which is fairly standard, centered with the kitchen lights, and in the dining space, centered in the island space. So I am about 4 feet from that island overhang and just out of the travel path of the main entryway, and that's where the dining fixture is placed. So 2 switches next to the stairs going down. One is for the ceiling cans centered in the stairwell. The other, you've elected step lights going down. The other is for the stair lights going down to the basement. I'll point those out as we go down. Into the kitchen, on the refrigerator wall, we've got 3 switches located here. So we've got recessed cans, we've got pendant lights, and 3-way switch coming out of the general area. In the kitchen, you have requested speaker pre-wire, and that is on the end of the island by the patio door, which is right here, centered on the door. 2 speakers, 1 out in front of the refrigerator and 1 by the patio door. So we've got 3 pendants up here, 2 speakers, 3 recessed cans, 3 recessed cans over the workspace, and then 3 more recessed cans in front of the cook wall. Outlets at the kitchen, all above countertop. There's also low volt pre-wire here. This is a CP location for phone, data, cable, satellite port. We've got power outlets. This is centered where the gas line is. There's power and gas low. This is the cooktop, and this is the power and vent for the range hood. This all mounts centered. Everything in the kitchen is centered. We've got, as I mentioned, service outlets around the kitchen. This is where the double oven goes. So this is the high voltage for the double oven combination oven. Centered on the island is the kitchen sink. Right here, we've got dishwasher on the right. And we've got wires looped down low here. There's power outlets, but there's also a switch leg there. And the garbage disposal mounts underneath this sink, and the switch is inside of the cabinet. So you'd open the door to turn the garbage disposal switch on. Power for the dishwasher and garbage disposal. Power outlets around the island. There are 4 outlets mounted on the island. 1 on either end, and then 2 in the face underneath the countertop overhang. This countertop overhangs, this is the Ascend Island, it's a little bit bigger, and it overhangs about 12 to 14 inches. And that's why we've got that dining light fixture moved back a little bit so you can still get stools underneath the overhang at the kitchen island and still have plenty of room for chairs around the dining table. No other additional electric in this area other than above the countertop. So we've got refrigerator, water line for ice maker or water, and power above the countertop here. So we're going to head downstairs. Down the basement, as I mentioned, there are two switches. One is for the recessed cans centered on the stairwell. The other is for the step lights going down. We have one step light centered in this run of stairs, one at the landing, second landing, another light, and then as we move down, centered on the stair run on the right-hand side. As we get to the bottom of the stairs, two switches. One is to turn off the lights, the recessed cam behind yourself. The other is for the step lights behind yourself. Let's pause. Okay, here we are in the basement, and I'm standing at the base of the stairs. As I mentioned, there's two switches at the base of the stairs to turn the lights, both step lights and the ceiling recessed can off behind yourself. At the wet bar, as you enter the wet bar area, there are two switches here. One is for recessed cans behind the wet bar. The other is for the two pendant light pre-wires, split in third over the bar top. So we've got countertop with sink and sink base, power outlet on the end, service outlets around. You've also requested at 66 power and a CP outlet, CP pre-wire behind the wet bar at 66 inches. Power and power. So that's all above countertop, outlet, two switches. We also have above that wet bar, this is wireless access point here. This is a WAP, wireless access point. There's also one upstairs that I'll point out to you when we get back upstairs. So in this general area, the rec room area, we've got 4 recessed cans. We also have speaker pre-wires, 2 speaker pre-wires here and here. Next to the door is the switch for the outdoor light. Power outlets low all around the rec room area here. So we've got 4 recessed cans, 2 speaker pre-wires in this area. In the main rec room, I've split the cans in 2. We've got 4 recessed cans in this general area and another 4 in this end. Those are switched independently over on the sidewall. These cans are switched here. So we have recessed cans. We've got half hot on a 3-way, a half switched outlet all the way across the room. On the low volt side, we've got speaker pre-wires. We've got, bear with me, 1, 2 speaker pre-wires in this area, and 4 recessed cans. Service outlets, half switched outlet, 3-way switches for lights ahead and behind yourself, and half hot. This is where the half switched outlet is switched as well. Now these switches here operate the recessed cans on this end of the rec room, and to turn off also half switched outlet. On this end of the room we have 4 recessed cans, no low volt pre-wire in the ceiling, no speakers. Service outlets around. You did request a CP location here at 72 and power also. And CP location, and power. I will move through into the bedroom area. As you come into the back bedroom, there are two switches in the bedroom. One is for two recessed cans and the other is for the half switched outlet on the bench. So here we have the sump pump location in the rear of the house, and there'll be a finished lid which lifts up here for any service or access to the sump pump. So we do install that. Service outlets in front of the bench. In this bedroom we do have a CP at 72 joining the bathroom wall, adjacent to the bathroom wall, power and CP. We've got closet with swinging doors opening, rod and shelf inside the closet. Move into the bathroom area. Door swings in. Switch on your left is for the light above the vanity. And inside the shower tub combination, two switches, one for recessed can and one for the fan. Can we pause? Okay, as we move into the other bedroom, we've got the closet here in the hallway. As you come in, there are two switches. One is for the two recessed cans, and the other is for the half-switched outlet across the room. Again, closet space. Power outlets around the room. In this bedroom, you've also requested the same thing from a low volt standpoint. Adjacent to the mechanical room is an outlet and a CP location at 72 inches. We've got recessed cans, smoke detector, CP location. I will move into the finished storage area and the mechanical room. So as you come into the mechanical room, you've got a light switch here. There's ceiling lights. See, this is the location of the furnace, and you've got dual tankless water heaters which mount here. Also the interior load center. All of your lighting and outlets will be switched or will be breakered inside. Interior load center. Door chime, wire hanging. Now you'll see some concrete that has been chipped out. We'll be replacing all that. You won't see that. We had to move some piping. As we get into the newly finished storage area, walk in. There's a door, there's a light switch for recessed cans. We've got two at the entrance and two in the drop. Also from a low volt standpoint in this area, we've got two speaker pre-wires. We also have a conduit from the rack location to here in the ceiling. We've got several outlets around this room. And we've got two dedicated outlets back here, plus our standard outlets. Also from a low volt standpoint, one, two, three, four speaker locations, two in the drop, two in the high ceiling. Dedicated outlets, standard outlet. This is the theater room, and we've got outlets all around the room. You can see in the unfinished area behind is where the rack location is per your request. Now I want to mention, this is the NSO that I made a mistake on when we were in the initial stages of construction on your home, where I had located the sump pit inadvertently in the wrong location. So I've dug this up, and because we are so close, right inside this unfinished space, this is where the under drain to the street is connected. I eliminated this sump pit. So I dug it up, I connected the drain pipe together, and it now just directly goes to the street storm water, where everything normally goes to there anyway, out of the sump pit. I've eliminated the sump pit, and it ties directly into the storm drain. Inside this unfinished space, you'll see I've got the vapor vent, and what this is we have a complete interior drain system inside your house, and on top of that drain we have tied in a vent pipe, and that vents up through the roof for any under slab vapor or humidity that it collects. It passively vents up out through the roof. So that pipe will connect there. I do have a sewer clean out in the floor. This is where the water tree is inside. You walk in, there's a light switch. This is where the main water distribution service comes into the house. And we have an on-off valve. We got valves for isolating the pressure tank. We've got a booster pump installed to boost your pressure to be a continuous PSI. This is the copper pipe which goes outside, where I pointed out outside for the sprinkler valve system. So this is the shutoff for the irrigation. And this is the main shutoff to your house. But we do have isolation valves on everything for service, power outlet for the pump. And then back here, we've got dedicated outlets per your request. Let me get my electrical diagram here. We've got 2 dedicated outlets mounted on the concrete wall. We also have outlets on the wall inside, both at 36 and down low. This is where the main distribution panel for low volt is located, your rack system. I believe that's what all the power is for. We've got 2 conduits here, one coming from the master bathroom and one from, it's like one, the other, bear with me. Conduit with pull string from rack to storage room to projector location. That's where the other one is. So we got projector and then that master bath conduit. So rack system, lights. We also have an attic conduit. This one goes all the way up into the attic. It's got a pull string in as well. If you ever needed to put any other items in the ceiling of any of the bedrooms or rec room or anything, or grand room, you can get up into the attic, and there's a conduit going to the attic as well. So we've got all kinds of power back here per your request, plus standard power outlets. We've got 1, 2, 3 ceiling lights back here, so it's well lighted as well. And I think that wraps up the basement. I don't think I've missed anything. We have 6 speakers down here, 2 in the back ceiling, 2 in the drop, 2 in the theater room. We've got power coming back, I believe it was 17 feet. Yep, that's right here. This would be the projector location. This is the 17 feet back. We also have power, and I believe this is for a drop-down screen. You requested this power outlet. I did not put it on the wall. I put it in the ceiling because generally those screens mount up high and tight to the ceiling. So I put the power outlet up high, close to the wall in the ceiling for the projector screen. And I believe that covers everything down here. A couple items I want to touch on upstairs when we go back up. I misspoke on the speaker pre-wires. We've got 4 in the ceiling and 2 down low. So I've got 2 in the theater room, 2 in the drop ceiling, and then 2 speaker pre-wires, probably for subwoofers down low in this back wall. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 speaker pre-wires in the theater room. Also have speaker here down low. You can pause whenever you're ready. couple things I wanted to touch back on in the grand room. I pointed out the speaker locations. Also, something from a low volt standpoint. Here in the grand room for your diagram, there's a wireless access point or your Wi-Fi booster. That's the wireless access point in the grand room. Also, at the study, I misspoke, where it does not have a swinging door. We are supposed to have a barn door pre-frame here, which I don't have the backing in, which I'll make sure that gets in before drywall. That's a mistake on my part. We've got the barn door backing at the master bath. Won't hurt anything to be there. If you ever like to put a barn door there, it's all set up for it. But I'll get this backing in for the barn door. And that's it. So that pretty much caps everything that we needed to go over today. If you have any questions or issues, please contact Kyle. I'll address them, no problem. So on my little checklist here, we've talked about the grading and drainage, how things grade per your plot plan. Gutters and downspouts aren't installed yet. The elevation on the window grids, we looked at all electrical, we've looked at all low volt, plumbing and mechanical. I did notice, and I'll make sure that down in the bathroom in the basement, you've opted for a second sink. Now they are plumbed and everything ties into one, so but I'll just make sure that we're aware that you got 2 sinks in that basement bath. Change orders, we're too late for any changes, and then projected schedule, I did touch on that we're trending right now for the first half of October to complete your house, barring any major supply chain issues, but myself, Sean, or Kyle will be in touch with you as we proceed here. I also did make a note that I'm going to be getting the barn door pre-frame installed at the study, and I'll be sending this to Kyle once that's done. So today's date is 6/2, and I'll get that done before Friday, before we stock drywall. We'll probably start hanging drywall over the weekend after I finish my inspections this week. So that's it for now, Steam It and Tara. Hopefully this didn't take too much of your time, and we've got all drawings for you. If you need copies, anything you need, just give us a call. I hope you're enjoying yourself in Phoenix, and we'll see you soon.